Hello.
Hi. Welcome.
Today we're going to be talking about
how to give a presentation.
how to successfully conduct a presentation.
And succeed in it.
Succeed in it, yes,
Yeah.
obviously. Our main experience is obviously in architecture, but we are trying to do this in a sense that it could be applied to other majors and other presentations too. So
Yeah. Any idea of like when you're publicly speaking about something or giving a speech, you're presenting an idea.
yeah.
You could fit anything.
And a lot of these thoughts I actually gathered from our public speaking course, graduate level in FIU. So,
Graduate level.
Graduate level.
Wow.
So, let's get this started, shall we? Well, first of all, when you're giving a presentation, you have to make sure to think ahead of time, right? So that when you are like presenting, everything sounds like it's coming from the same main idea. So in our studio, this main idea would be called a concept, right? In other fields, I guess it would be just the thesis statement. So a lot of people, I think, tend to get lost, like from an idea. So it's really important that if you establish that your main goal to do something is this idea, that you keep everything consistent and related to that idea.
Whenever you have a presentation, you need to have that one thing that pulls everything together. Almost like that key that binds all your thoughts together and drive everything to a common objective. You're playing with the dog when I'm talking.
Okay, Summer's gonna do. Make sure you are like direct and impactful in what you're saying, right? You don't want just like lose focus.
Yeah, you don't want to put a bunch of words in the presentation that they don't really connect to each other, and then the whole presentation starts being like a pool of a bunch of ideas
and it
brought
kind of
together.
looks. Sorry, that interrupted. But it kind of looks like you don't know what you're talking about, right? If you just start drifting your mind to everything that goes in your brain, and you know, the critics or whoever is listening to it, it's gonna look like, are you like?
Yeah.
What?
And critics never forget. So if you get lost in your thought and you start saying words that come to your mind, they're gonna think of, imagine you're talking about something about bricks, and then you mention the color red being like has a meaning, and then you drift to another thought. They're gonna remember everything that you said, and then they're gonna think about it. They're gonna process, and then they're gonna question you like about redundancies, a thing that you didn't think because you just said words that were in your mind.
Because you didn't prepare yourself for what you're gonna say. So it's really important that you actually, after you kind of make this main idea and write down everything, like the sub points of this main idea, that you practice that, right? So that you practice not only by yourself, but to your friends, and time yourself practicing it.
And practice in the conditions, like standing up, talking to an audience, or having the drawings that you're talking about, like showing them in front of you. Those preparations are really crucial to a presentation, because then you can really put yourself in the situation of how you're going to be when you're going to perform that to someone else.
Yeah, you don't want to be redundant, and you also don't want people to lose their focus on what you're trying to say. So just make sure you are well aware of everything you were trying to cover.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to during the presentation. So the first thing, right, Summer? Right, Summer? Okay. Establishing a connection, right? So to establish this connection with your audience, I think you can do this in different ways. You can do it by telling a story or saying something funny. First, saying your name, of course, and thanking them for being there and listening to you, and just make sure that they're like paying attention to you and they feel comfortable with you.
And I think for that, you need to know who your audience really is. Like, are those professors or those other students who are going to be there listening to you? If you know who your audience is, you can prepare for the type of presentation, the type of language you need to have to reach them and really connect with them too.
It's really important to start your presentation well, because that's the first impression they're going to have of you. If you ruin the first few minutes of the presentation, it's like they're not going to take it seriously for the rest of it, and you have to also
finish your presentation well. The last impression, always like that's maybe the one they were going to remember.
Maybe that one red brick comment was in the end of the thing, and then they're not letting it go.
Yeah.
And then your whole point is disproved by it, because critics love to do that.
Yeah.
Just look at it and be like, but your whole idea of this doesn't translate well with the red bricks. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I was following your concept, and then you ruined it with the last sentence.
Next thing, you shouldn't just grab attention, I guess, to what you're saying, but with like movement and physical activity. Like I feel like sometimes if you're watching, for example, a TED Talk and the speaker's just in the same spot, like not moving the whole talk, you would be bored, right? So you want the speaker to be kind of moving around, to kind of be moving around a bit, like obviously not excessively, but a bit so that, you know, you can pay attention.
We should show how it's done.
Put somewhere this.
Don't be bored. We're moving the presentation.
This is how you do it. Hello.
Just do this, you're gonna be fine.
This is my model.
A's, straight A's.
Give me an A.
I'm not even bored.
Another thing, I said and this topic is okay. If you forget what you're saying, don't say like it just seems like you don't know what you're talking about. If you forget your connection from one point to another, just be quiet for 2 seconds. Like, shut up.
Yeah, I believe those are called vocal fillers, if I remember my classes.
It shouldn't take class.
Rethink your next phrase, what it's gonna be like, and then you say it clearly, and then you construct your sentence in a full, complete way. Because using those and like, you're just building a very long phrase that doesn't really make sense when you put everything together.
Yeah. Think about Abraham, or professor, that always wrote things nicely and said things nicely.
Yeah, Abraham was.
He went to Harvard.
He
you know why? Because he didn't say and like in every sentence.
He didn't.
He thought Harvard. You gotta think Harvard.
Yeah, think Harvard.
Think Harvard?
Don't think
Don't think think Harvard. Okay, and then I think after you do everything that you can, right? You set up your visuals, you did an amazing presentation, you prepared it, you have to be prepared for them to also not like it, right? Not everyone's gonna like what you do. People have different interests in life, and no matter what you do, you're never gonna satisfy everyone. This is just in general in life. So you gotta be able to, if it's a studio, for example, listen to what the crit has to say, the bad things, and actually try to use it for your benefit.
You can either be sad about a criticism or take it into a new direction and use it to prove who you really are and how your presentations are, how your work really is. So you either learn from it and you be a better person, or you're just gonna be sad. Like, it's up to you. You decide.
Be sad. If you really truly are not satisfied with a project and you have a week or two to fix it, I do think
you should take advantage of that.
Take advantage of that. Yeah. Listen to what the crits have to say and make it better. You know, like make the best out of your time.
And crits are designed to be there because they're more experienced and they're gonna give you feedback because they've seen projects over and over again, and they're already trained to see flaws when they spot it. So take their criticism because they do know better than you. For giving a presentation to make them believe in whatever you're designing, then
you have to make them believe it.
You have to make them believe it. If the presentation was not good in the sense that you had a lot of criticism that it didn't work, it's because either the way that you designed it or the way that you represented your design and you presented to the public was not tied together, and you cannot make the audience believe in what you really believe in.
In any career, you have to be able to sell, like, even better than you design something. I think it's good to know how you sell it, right? So you can have the most amazing product on earth, and if you are not a good entrepreneur, if you don't know how to convince people that it is the best project out there, it's not going anywhere. So you have to be good at convincing people. So the last thing you do
after the presentation
is rest.
Yeah, take it easy, champ. You did it.
You did it. You didn't sleep.
You deserve some rest. However you want to celebrate it. If it's sleeping after all the all-nighters, or
bad decisions.
Not sleeping, bad decisions. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it as much as we're enjoying this popcorn, please give us a thumbs up.
And comment.
I'm talking as I eat.
Love.
That's rude.
And share. And
share, bitch.
All of the good things. The bad things too. Everything.
Share, bitch. Share.
I know. I'm gonna stop now.
Go to the
director,
gym.
director, cut.